Hi, and welcome to today's video, which is my shop my stash for the first half of autumn, which is the first 6 weeks. The reason I don't go through the selection through the drawers is they're very, very high, and it's very difficult for me to get a camera angle to view into the drawers, certainly the top couple. So I have made a selection and I shall go through them with you. But first of all, it's the items I've been using in the last 6 weeks, some of which will remain because it might be the only products I use for a certain category, and others I'll be rotating out. So if I go through for primer, for face primer, I have finished up the Laura Mercier that was in my project pan. Just finished that, and I've started the Evant. This is a Pro Perfecting Collagen Primer 30ml. I've started using that. It's fine. It's more of a skincare, I think, than a primer. It isn't particularly tacky, but it's fine. So I've been using that. It hasn't up to now pilled with anything. I've used by Revlon the Skin Caring Foundation. This is only available in the US of A. I've had to purchase, and well, certainly not in the UK. I've had to purchase this from iHerb, which is a US of A based website. It's the Illuminance. Now there is a squeezy tube version which is more serum than this, although I'd call this a serum foundation. The other is lighter, and generally people, when I've seen videos about this online, and reviews, they seem to prefer this over the newer squeezy tube version because they are two different products. I enjoy this, and I have it in the shade 217. It offers light to medium coverage. Really, really nice. I've also been using by Yensa the BB and CC foundation cream, and this isn't as full coverage as the It Cosmetics CC cream, which I find to be a true medium. What I will say is the It Cosmetics will go to full cover, put it on dry skin with no skincare underneath, but with skincare it should slide and sheer out. This does as well. I enjoy it. It's quite a grey tone shade. This is light neutral. It isn't available at the moment in this shade at QVC UK, who are the only sole retailers for this product. So it looks like they may be phasing Yensa out of the line. I'm not sure, but I have enjoyed using it, but I don't feel it's as good as the It Cosmetics product, in all honesty. Then I have been using the Fenty Beauty Powder Pro Filter. Now what I will say about this is it has talc in, and Fenty have just launched a version without talc, not called Pro Filter. I think it's fine. I'm not sure what the range is, but basically very similar pot, but about half the depth. So this is it's talc free with silica and mica, which are highly reflective particles, and they do use this to bulk out with it, even within talc-based products. But the reviews that I've seen up to date, and it's only been out a week or so, are that it's like a Tin Man. You look like a Tin Man, you will shimmer. So it's very much like a shiny finishing powder rather than a blotting powder, which I think is supposed to be a blotting powder. So what I would say is that I'm going to stick with this. Fenty Beauty do have a 40% off, friends and family, or is it 25%, up to 40% off? And I saw it one evening over the weekend, didn't pick it up. Next morning woke up, all sold out. So I wanted to get several of these butters because instead of being £26, they were £15.80, so £10 off. So butters sold out. Next time they do a sale, I will stock up, because I am concerned that this may be being phased out, because in EU, sometime in 2027, talc in cosmetics is going to be highly restricted, if not banned. I'm not sure if that will happen in the UK, but this present government administration seemed to be doing whatever EU does. So basically it's likely it will be phased out. It doesn't have to be, because it's not, it's not a code that we have to follow. Yeah, I'm not sure whether Fenty is going to continue with this product. They may phase it out internationally. So I will try and stock up on this 02 butter when it's next in a sale. But then maybe she'll continue to carry it for another couple of years. I don't know, but I do like this powder a lot. For setting spray, I've been using the Morphe one. It's on its last legs, so that'll be finished in the next day or two. Whoops, sorry, I've just knocked you. I've also been using, I'll just randomly pick this up, a Too Faced bronzer, which is actually a contour. I've actually now scraped this out. There it is. So it's all in a pot, and I've added some whitener, and it's in use at the moment. I'm not sure it'll last the next 6 weeks, but who knows? But I'll continue to use that. I've been using a Summer Fridays balm in brown sugar. Absolutely love this. It's really moisturising. It smells lovely. I'm enjoying it. As you can see, it was full when it went in 6 weeks ago. Haven't got much left, and I will be rolling in another product once that's finished. I've also been using the Bobbi Brown as a face palette. This has been in before, but I've used it more extensively this time. Now, when you're hitting the face and your face isn't dry, because even with powders, I don't have a mattified finish. You can still feel the moisture under the powders. So basically, the moisture from the face is affecting the brush. So basically, with this one, I've used it as an all-over bronzer. I think you have to be a bit careful, and as long as you go into it knowing, which I didn't know, that it's a pearlized finish, it will give it like a Tin Man look on the face, is what I'm going to say. Not my favourite look. It's okay in strategic parts if you want to brighten up the face, but I have got quite a bit of use nonetheless. A little use of this, and it's a bit red tone for me, but I've really enjoyed the highlighter. For a powder highlighter, I've really, really enjoyed this. So I can understand, you know, over many years, people have really loved the Bobbi Brown formula. Absolutely gorgeous. That's going back in my collection. I've got a Zao palette, which I use, which has got various eyeshadows that I dip into. That's going to continue. I've got a Rowan eyeshadow in Universal, which is a topper. That's going to continue. I'm going to keep that in use. I've got a Laura Geller Balance and Brighten, which is in my project pan. I have reached the goal. It's staying in. I use this to set eyeliner so it doesn't travel onto my mobile upper lid. This is my lightening drops that I use if I need to lighten foundation, and I've just finished it up, or I use it with a contour. So this is it. It's no longer available. It's a pity. Absolutely gorgeous. I have another one that I'm going to break out, and I actually used it with the I have mentioned it with this product to make it a bit more cooler toned as a cream contour. I've been using this blush from Deborah, and it's the Deborah of Italy. So it's not generally available but in the UK, but I did get this through TK Maxx. Absolutely lovely formula. A fairly mattish coral, not fully matte. There is a bit of life to it. I have enjoyed that. I've got the MAC contour, which I use under my chin, which is a powder contour, no longer available. I've used the Bobbi Brown. Now this was never sold in the UK officially. This is 2 colour correctors, and this is supposed to be a concealer, but you can use them all the same way. This was primarily sold to I think Korea and Japan was its main market, and Singapore, and also Australia. I did pick this up online, actually on eBay, new, but you can get this. It was available last year, or the early part of this year at least, at the cosmetics company outlet, but there isn't one near me. But I will try and pick up another. This is a lovely creamy formula, everything that I would have wanted from the Charlotte Tilbury one. But I am used to the Bobbi Brown formulas that's in the pot, a cream in a pot. This is very similar. Absolutely gorgeous and lovely and hydrating, and it does stay put. I've got the Colour Tattoo, which I'm using as an eye base. That's going to continue. I've got the Bad Girl Bang mascara, which I love. It does everything I want. It thickens, it lengthens. I'm not sure about curl because I have curly lashes. I love the nylon wand. Absolutely lovely. And I have had to use some eye drops to rehydrate it. Absolutely gorgeous. I've got a couple of brow products, Precisely My Brow from Benefit in shade 2. It is on its very last legs. I've probably just got a couple of uses out of that left, but I've got a lot more out of the Fibre, which is a fibre gel in shade 2. So I think that may last the next 6 weeks, I don't know. I've been using this, it's in a project pan actually, this Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Stick. Love it, absolutely lovely as a topper, on top of powders. I may keep this in actually. I think that's what I'm going to do and use it next time. I've got a nice shadow from Kiko, which I've enjoyed. It's a duo, a nice wash of colour. I've used this a couple of times, and it's in the shade 01 Bright Duo. I've got a Kiko base for eyes. It's a matte shadow, and it's actually called Flax 01. Now, normally they just go by codes, but this is actually got a name on the website, but not on the product. It's Flax. Really lovely, nice opaque and good if you want to mattify the eye. I've got a lot of veins running across the eyelid, and it does help reduce the colour and appearance of them. I've got Rocketeur, which is in my Project Pan. That is still being used as a blush. I've been using the Gucci bronzer. Really love this. Can't sing its praises enough. This is in shade 01, which is a pinkish tone. Absolutely, well, a cool tone pink. I'm using this as a finishing powder, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury one, and it has got crushed. It's a mess, but hey ho, I'm able to use it with a sponge. I've also been, well, I should have been using this, but I'm going to keep this in. I didn't use it once, Prime Time by Bare Minerals as a primer. I've been using this, and I'm going to keep it in by Kiko. Now, this is because I use it alongside this, which is on the last legs. So I'll keep these in together for use. I've got Lash Paradise primer, which I'm really enjoying. It's got to the end of its life. That's now being rotated out. I've got a lipstick, which was nice over summer. I kept calling it Coral, but it's called Neon Orange from MAC. And it was in my 50 use project. That's been used more than 50 times. Loving it. I'm going to put it back for next summer. I've got this lipstick, Tulles 10, it's called. Turned Up by NYX. Very beigey. Love that. And that's had a lot of use. It's in my Project Pan, so that's going to stay. I'm going to be rolling out this Candy Attitude lipstick from Soap and Glory. Now, this is lovely. It's a semi-matte satin finish, very light on the lips. You can build it up on itself and put 2 layers on, for example. First layer would be sheer. What I will say is that if you try and apply it later on in the day, because it wears very, very well, but eventually it will wear off. You need to remove with a tissue or whatever the lipstick because it pills on itself. That's the only negative. But otherwise, a lovely product, inexpensive and available via Boots in the UK. I've got Laura Mercier Striker Rose Caviar Stick. Love, love, love that. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I did do another video of this, and I missed some items out, so I'm redoing it. But basically, that's that. Whoops, sorry for shaking you. That's it there. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to put that back for another time. I've got an eyeliner from Infallible, which is for the waterline. That's still being used. I've got a black Avon one. I've only used this once or twice, but it's the only black one that's in use at the moment. And I've got a blue, again, waterline pencil. I might keep that in. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and I've got a Lord and Berry. This is a bronze eye pencil, which is in my Project Pan, so that's going to remain. And I've also used this. I've had this. I've not really used it at all though. This mauve lip liner, mauve. This is in my Project Pan, so I just tend to keep it around. So I'm going to next show you the items that I'm going to be rolling in. So I've got these here beside me. So I'm just going to put this down. So what am I rolling in? So I'm going to, for setting spray, I'll be rolling in this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I've never tried it. So I've got 100ml to give a go. Just see here. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Infallible Pro Glow. I'll also be using the Enso one. So this one is good. I've used before, really love it. It's in a Project Pan. Adore this formula. It's only available, the Pro Glow is only available on Amazon UK, here in the UK. I've got another foundation I use as a mixer. I'm using this with the Yensa. It's by the company Rich Gold. This is available through iHerb, which is a US brand that sells in the UK. This is a Korean brand. It was only about £7 or £8 for 100ml. Now, is it the most elegant formula by Korea? And the Koreans do some excellent formulas? No, but it is still very good. It's a SPF 50. PA+++. It is a bit dark for me. I've got it here on the skin, but it is in shade 21, which seems to be the only shade available. Generally, in the Korean shades, there is some lightness between the grading of shades. Like 21 by one company is very similar by shade 21 in another. And I think it's because of the homogeny of the colouring of the people in Korea. There's in terms of racially, they're Koreans. So they have Asian skin tone or South Asian skin tone, and there is so much similarity. It's a very short range. Now, their colours do suit me because they tend to run a bit grey-toned, grey-scale. I'm not sure why, but I do like Korean colours. But that said, that one is a bit warmer than the standard shades in 21, but I am enjoying it. What else have I got here? For concealer, I've got the Bobbi Brown one, which I'm going to be using. I'll go on to this as it's random here. I've got a bronzer by Laura Geller, which is a cool pink tone. It's in a super size. I'm never going to get it used up, but it is in fair. So I'm going to be rolling that in, along with a Tom Ford to neutralise it a bit, because this is a neutral shade. What I will say is, this was supposedly not going to be deleted a year ago. It isn't. It's still being sold. I think the formula is a bit dated, in my opinion. I think there's a lot more elegant formulas out now, and especially for the money. I've got I'll just go through this. I've got a face palette from Natasha Denona, which I recently unboxed in an advent calendar unboxing. This is the Glam palette in the shade Light with a pink, a warm tone corally pink, a pressed powder highlighter, and then these lovely eyeshadows. So I've yet to break into that, and I wanted to give that one a try now. So I'll try not to blind you. So I thought, well, whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to try out my Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. I might as well put them together. There's one that I have used quite a lot that I've had perhaps nearly 2 years now. This is the Zendo palette. I love it, really nice. The only thing I will say about Natasha Denona, I find her shadows not the easiest to blend, and I find them very pigmented, and so they often run several shades darker than they appear in the pan, at least on me. But this is a lovely shadow quintet, which I've used a lot, and I hope to get some more use out of that. I've got this, which is the mini bronze, which I haven't tried, but these are all very autumnal shades. Perhaps the browns are a bit too warm for me, but I will certainly give them a try. And I do love the acrylic casing, really nice. And then I've got the mini Bieber, and again, these have come in beauty boxes or advent calendars, and this one is warm, but it has some pink elements to it as well, so I shall enjoy giving these a go. Particularly the topper shades are quite nice in them, so I will be using that along with my face palette and eyeshadows in the Glam palette there. Moving on, I'm going to go to eyes. I'm going to, like I say, finish off the Bad Girl Bang. If I run out in the next 6 weeks, I'll be introducing this roller lash. It's okay. It's not one of my favourites, but I shall give that a try because it is to give curl. So this is a banana shape to give curl, but my lashes are already curly. But I will use this. And I do date them, so this is my oldest mascara at the moment, February 24, which isn't too bad for me. I'm going to try and use this Bare Minerals Prime Time, which was, like I say, doesn't need to be used up. I've got this highlighter I'm bringing back in. I've used one this year in this size and this actual product, so I'm bringing this back in. It's the glass highlighter from Rodial. Lovely. I've got it. Where have I got it? I'll put it on here. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm not sure if I don't think I'll finish it this time round, but I might keep it into the end of the year actually. For lash primer, I'm going to use the False Lash Effect from Max Factor. I think it's a blue one. Now Max Factor now seem to be back in Boots. They have been available for some time in Sainsbury's. I do like Max Factor. And I've actually loved their eye primers. So I'm going to see if this one is as good as the previous one which I had, and see if it can knock Lash Paradise off the top spot. I've also got, I'm going to try and get this used, the Urban Decay All Nighter, which is quite a strong setting spray, and I know there's a new version because they have stepped away from Scandinavia. I'll show you the lips. Oh, I've got this brow pencil, which although the latest one that I've purchased, they're all new. All the ones I've got in my collection are fairly new, not been tried, but this was broken. I bought 2 boxes in Superdrug in clearance, and this one was broken. So I'm going to try and get this one used. It's going to take a few months, I think, but this is in shade 554 from the Spanish brand Mina. Lovely, lovely company. I have tried this product in another shade and loved it, but this was the colour that was, there's about 3 colours that would suit me. There's 2 blondes and a taupe, and any of them are okay. They're a massive range like the Benefit, but they're no longer sold in the UK. For lips, I'm going to be using the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment, which came out in the last 12 months, and a lot of people comparing it with the Summer Fridays. Some like it better, some don't, but I'm intrigued, so I want to give it a try. So this is in Creme Brulee, so it's going to be a bit like the Brown Sugar. So as soon as the Summer Fridays one, which I know I love, is used up, I'm going to try this, but I've only recently purchased it, so I want to give it a try. So, and see if I like it, then I can finish that up. Yeah, Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve. For lipsticks then, I've only got a couple that I'm bringing in because I do have one that I use in my project pan. So I'm going to add 2 more. So I've got the Fenty Beauty Chocolate, and this is the new glittery version, or glimmer version. I didn't have the original cream, but this is absolutely gorgeous. And I've got actually 2 lip liners that I've got in recent months. This is Smart Fusion from Kiko. They don't have a name for this. They've got a number. I'm not sure if I can find the number 31, which is that one. That is the chocolate. And that is very similar. So I'm going to try both of these out. This is the fairly new Lifter Liner. I've not tried it yet from Maybelline. It's available in Boots and Superdrug. So I'm going to try them with that, which would be a lovely combination. I also picked this up recently and I have shown it in a haul. This is by Gucci, and it's a satin lipstick in a limited edition shade, and I got this in clearance in TK Maxx, and it is in Janet Rust. Now Janet Rust, the satin version is more silky, it's more emollient. This is more mattish, but it is a special edition. I don't like their matte lipsticks because they're actually powder, a bit like some of the retro matte or some of the matte ones from MAC. And I also, Charles of the Ritz, I think, had one that was a powder many in the 90s. So this one, although it isn't, it isn't as powdery as their matte formula, and it isn't as silky as their satins. It isn't as shiny. It's more a hybrid, but it has a lot of glitter. And it's got a blue tone glitter which does permeate throughout, so it gives it more of a neutral tone, but it is warm. I would call it a warm, but not as rust as the standard Janet Rust. This is available at the moment at TK Maxx online. It's a very heavy component, lovely, but it's only in this shade. But there's actually 2 components. There's this shade, and a bright pink. But when I went and got it in store, they only had this one. So it's well worth picking up if you think you'd like that colour. Because some of the glitters by many expensive brands don't run through, but this does have a shimmer running through. The next item is a jouet, which I'm going to use when I finish my other gloss up, and this is a multi-coloured holographic sort of sparkle. I quite fancy using that. It has a cupcake scent, and then I have a couple of lip liners, which I'll be other lip liners which I'll be throwing in. So I've got 4 lip liners to use. This is in my project pan. I've got another which is a mauve, I'm not sure about that, what I'll do with that one, because none of these lipsticks that I've got out are mauve. So anyway, they're all the items that I will be using. I also should have, I don't know if I showed you, I don't think I did. In terms of what I rolled out, I had the soft glam for the last 6 weeks. That's been rolled out. I used all of these and got plenty of looks out of them. Really enjoyed that, the pinks, the golds with some of the browns. Absolutely lovely. I think the only one I didn't use is the black, but I will still use it at some point. I love it. Have really enjoyed it. And now it's time to focus on these all in front of me. Also, I think I did say that I have this which I'm going to roll out and I'll use another time. So I think that's everything. So let me know your thoughts down below about the selection that I've got. I'll just show you it again. That's what I'm focusing on, as well as some items that are in every month. Let me know your thoughts down below. Can I say thank you one and all for watching, as I do appreciate that your time is valuable. Hopefully I shall see you soon in another video. But otherwise, please do take care of yourselves, and bye for now.